It's June 17th, 1994. 95 million Americans are frozen in front of their TVs as they watch a white Ford Bronco move slowly across a Los Angeles freeway. Inside is OJ Simpson, a Heisman Trophy winner, NFL Hall of Famer, and one of the most recognizable athletes in the country. Less than 4 months later, he would stand trial in a case that produced about 150 witnesses, 133 days of televised courtroom testimony, and a verdict reached in less than 4 hours. So the question is this: how did a former sports icon become the defendant in one of the most watched criminal trials in American history? Before the crime scene, before the glove, before the verdict that split a nation, you need to understand who OJ Simpson was, because this story only works if you understand how far he falls. OJ grows up poor in the San Francisco projects. He walks with leg braces as a toddler. His own mother doesn't know if he'll ever run normally. But he doesn't just run normally. He becomes one of the greatest runners the game has ever seen. Heisman Trophy, NFL legend. More than 11,000 rushing yards. The first player ever to break 2,000 yards in a single season. Then came Hollywood, movies, TV commercials, award shows. He becomes the face of Hertz Rent-A-Car, sprinting through airports, flashing that smile. America looks at O.J. Simpson and sees everything the American dream is supposed to be. But here's what the cameras don't show you. Behind closed doors, police records and later testimony reveal a much darker side. Her name is Nicole Brown. She's 18 when she meets O.J. at a nightclub. He is 30, already married, already famous. They marry in 1985. 2 kids, a mansion in Brentwood. Still perfect from the outside. But Nicole starts calling for help. New Year's Day, 1989. Police arrive and find Nicole injured. O.J. later pleads no contest to spousal battery. He gets probation, community service, a fine, and it was not treated as an isolated warning sign. By the end of that year, Nicole would later say police had been called to the home multiple times before, and none of it seemed to change what came next. In one emergency call, the whole world eventually hears her fear. She tells the operator, "He's going to kill me." The DA's office does not push the case toward a consequence that could separate her from danger. The courts accept a plea that keeps him out of jail. The system, at every level, treats her as another domestic violence case instead of a person in danger. Nicole divorces O.J. in 1992. She moves into her own place on Bundy Drive. She is finally free, but prosecutors would later argue that O.J. could not accept it. Sunday, June 12, 1994. Nicole takes her kids to a dance recital. O.J. sits in the audience watching. She doesn't invite him to dinner afterward. He drives home, alone. Later that night, a dog begins to bark on Bundy Drive. Not just barking, howling. It doesn't stop. Neighbors hear it cutting through the quiet L.A. night like something is horribly, desperately wrong. Eventually, someone follows the dog home. What he finds stops him cold. Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman had been found dead. Ron Goldman was 25 years old, a waiter saving up to open his own restaurant someday. That night, he had driven over to return a pair of sunglasses Nicole's mother had left behind. A 5-minute errand. He never makes it back to his car. Inside the house, Nicole's 2 children, ages 5 and 8, are asleep upstairs. They sleep through all of it. The trail of evidence soon leads investigators to O.J.'s estate, about 5 miles away. A single leather glove is found beside O.J.'s guest house. It appears to match the glove found at the crime scene, and testing later connects it to biological evidence from both victims. Wait, what? Blood droplets are found from Bundy Drive to O.J.'s driveway. DNA testing matched O.J.'s blood at a probability that FBI analysts described as roughly 1 in 170 million. Blood is found inside his Bronco, on the door handle, the steering wheel, the console. A sock in OJ's bedroom later tests positive for Nicole's blood. On paper, the physical evidence looks overwhelming. And then, OJ runs. OJ is supposed to turn himself in at 11 a.m. He doesn't show. His lawyer reads a letter on live television, rambling, emotional, written in OJ's own hand, and it raises immediate alarm. Police issue a warrant. OJ Simpson is declared a fugitive. Then a motorist spots the White Bronco on the 405 freeway. Inside is OJ, curled on the floor of the back seat, reportedly holding a gun to his own head. $8,000 cash. A disguise. Police cruisers fall in behind him, and for the next 90 minutes, at roughly 35 miles per hour, the most surreal chase in TV history plays out live. Networks cut away from the NBA Finals. People line the overpasses holding signs. Go, OJ, we love you. 95 million Americans watch. Eventually, the Bronco pulls into OJ's estate. He surrenders. The trial of the century is about to begin. The Dream Team, one of the most famous and expensive legal defenses in American history. They don't just attack the evidence. They attack the investigation. They expose the lead detective as a racist caught on tape using the N-word. They suggest blood was mishandled. They suggest evidence was planted. They put the LAPD itself on trial. And remember, this is Los Angeles, still raw from Rodney King, still raw from the 1992 riots. That fury lives in that courtroom every single day. Then comes the moment that changes everything. Prosecutors ask OJ to try on the glove found at the crime scene. OJ pulls it slowly onto his hand, stretches his fingers, grimaces. It doesn't fit. Johnny Cochran turns to the jury and delivers the line that echoes through history. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. The jury deliberates for less than 4 hours. October 3rd, 1995. The entire country stops. An estimated 150 million people, more than half of America, are watching live. We, the jury, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty. The reaction splits the country clean in half. In many black communities, relief. After decades of watching the justice system crush black men, a verdict that finally cut the other way. In many white communities, silence, then rage, then disbelief. Polls at the time showed a massive racial divide in how Americans viewed the verdict. One verdict, 2 completely different countries. A civil jury later finds OJ liable and orders $33.5 million in damages. The Goldman family would pursue that judgment for decades, and public reporting says only a small fraction was ever recovered. In 2008, he is convicted of armed robbery and kidnapping in Las Vegas, sentenced to 33 years, released on parole in 2017. On April 10, 2024, OJ Simpson dies of prostate cancer. He never confessed to killing Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. Nicole Brown Simpson did not suffer in silence. There were calls, warnings, police visits, records, and still by the time the world knew her name, it was too late. The O.J. Simpson case was never just a murder trial. It was a mirror held up to America's face at the exact moment it didn't want to look. About race, about money, about fame, about domestic violence, about whether justice in this country is truly blind, or whether it only sees what it's told to see. That question still has no clean answer. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more stories like this, you know what to do.